Hello friends, today we will learn about one of the hottest characters in Aries recently, which is the President of Ukraine, former comedian Volodymyr Zelensky. If in the United States, Ronald Reagan also stepped from showbiz to politics, the country of Aries also has a star moving stage, that is Mr. Zelensky. Mr. Zelensky was born in 1978 in a city of Ukraine in a family of Jewish origin, whose parents are prestigious people in the education industry. He spent many years of his childhood living in Mongolia, then returned to Ukraine when it was still part of the Soviet Union. From a young age, Zelensky showed a natural talent for the arts, especially drama. According to Zelensky, he also had cool dreams as a child, such as being a border police officer or a diplomat. Therefore, while growing up, although he did not pass the police exam, Zelensky also decided to study a legal-related field. Despite this, with his natural talent for the arts, studying did not excite Zelensky and become as popular as a comedian. Within a few years of studying at school, Zelensky had risen to fame in his salinity and ability to comedians. Thanks to that, he was quickly invited to act in famous television channels. After finishing university, Zelensky created his own theater team and continuously achieved success in the country. Since the 2000s, he has become the golden egg-laying hen of the famous 1+1 channel in Ukraine. The work at this prestigious station also makes Zelensky quickly earn huge amounts of money, and have a lot of buzz in acting, writing, directing, and many other jobs. In 2012, his drama and film production team called Baptin 95 took second place in the ranking of media projects and the richest showbiz stars of Ukraine. However, the highlight of his life taking a new beginning was in 2015, when Zelensky launched his daring TV show Servant of the People. In the film, Zelensky played a teacher, then became the president of Ukraine. The drama, with its sharp political satire, became one of Ukraine's most watched TV shows. Many people even praised the character of the president played by Zelensky as the embodiment of the desire to fight corruption, the desire to change the country's skin and flesh. And then Zelensky started the election campaign like a game, and people thought he was making a trailer for a new movie. Who would have thought that the wave of support for him kept rising? In the end, comedian Volodymyr Zelensky defeated the incumbent president with 73% of the vote, the highest since Ukraine became an independent country. That glorious victory as a miracle, or can also be considered as an inevitable result, has been carefully calculated by an underground force. Although he changed his job, the new president's salinity did not decrease. Ukrainian President Zelensky always knows how to turn all the outstanding issues in the world into a comedy. You probably didn't know he gave a one-of-a-kind introduction at a Ukraine summit with the Video World Leaders Group, mocking a group of world leaders. After that, taking advantage of the heat of the new president, some broadcasters released rare and hard-to-find clips of him when he was a comedian to attract a huge number of views. The audience, after witnessing that the president's heat did not decrease on showbiz, humorously said, "Mr. Zelensky should still work as an entertainer to earn money for Ukraine to repay the IMF, International Monetary Fund, one of the largest creditors of Ukraine at that time." Someone once compared Zelensky's victory to the image of former President Trump, which is something that carries great expectations of a voter with a new breeze for their country's politics. Therefore, this is the strength and also the fatal weakness for the political career of the two heads of state. Immediately after taking office, a difficult situation has hit the face of the new president. That is, since the 2014 coup, Ukraine has always remained the country with the highest poverty and corruption rate in Europe. Ukrainian standard of living is also low, with a third of the population living below the minimum. In addition, diplomatically, when the previous term ended, what Zelensky received was a shady relationship with the European Union and NATO, along with an increasingly distant relationship with Russia. To know why there is a love triangle like this, please review the video explaining the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Of interesting knowledge, guys. When Zelensky was not finishing that backlog, the COVID epidemic came, making everything worse. In July 2021, an opinion poll conducted by the International Institute of Sociology showed that Ukrainians are rapidly losing confidence in the administration of the incumbent president. Ukrainians said they do not see the successes of the government in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, do not see the country's economy recover, and see no signs of peace in the war in eastern Ukraine. For the first time, the confidence level for Mr. Zelensky has fallen below average. And until now, the biggest challenge facing both Ukraine and President Zelensky is how to survive in the pan of fire between Russia and NATO. There is a section that criticizes Zelensky as a two-faced person, while crying and calling for the US to protect, while turning to talk over the phone to review old stories of writing bears with neighbors in Moscow. However, many politicians and people nod their heads in delight at Zelensky's attempt to balance on a burning rope to protect the country from war, but unfortunately war still broke out in the end. Anyway, where did President Zelensky come from? It doesn't really matter. Even people with a sense of humor are often intelligent people. However, what the people expect is a rich country and a peaceful life for the people. I don't know if he does well or not. What do you think? Let's discuss together. Thank you for watching the video. Goodbye and see you again.